about Green Touches and how it came into being?
I think it came into being because I'm an environmentalist and I have been 40 years chemical free, and I wanted to introduce something into the UAE that was different, and the idea of a cleaning company that was also different, so that we would pay like a lot of attention to our staff as well, and treat them with respect and try to pay them a little bit more than the market rate. And just generally make life easier for them and their jobs fun, so that they actually enjoy coming to work.
That is so brilliant. I can't think of very many corporates who would actually pay a lot of emphasis on making sure that their staff is happy. So kudos to you on that. She says don't ask them. I am looking at them right now and they're wearing huge smiles. So that's a positive. So can you tell us a little bit more, Arian, about what it means to live clean? What is clean living anyways?
Clean living means the air that we breathe, it means the chemicals that surround us, and it also applies to food as well. So, I mean, our air quality is really important. And at the moment, I think, living in the Middle East, we struggle with air quality because we have all the construction dust, and we have, our indoor living is ACs, and unless we're, attending to them and having them cleaned regularly, then we're not breathing in very great air. And then onto the chemicals. So the general traditional cleaning products that you buy from the shelf are actually creating a very unhealthy atmosphere around us. Yes, really. So we look at and for not just health, and we try to clean for health and wellness as well. And I'm quite aware we are surrounded on any given day by around 700,000 different chemicals, believe it or not, and that's about 700,000. And as women, and probably men, depending on what they're wearing in the mornings, but you are applying at least 128 different chemicals to your body before you leave the bathroom. So just, if you just think about it, you start with your shampoos full of chemicals, if you're not on the organic trip. And then your conditioners, your body washes, maybe your face scrubs, your foot scrubs, right? Yeah, right there. Then you get out, and then your toothpastes, your moisture creams, your SPFs, your makeup, the list goes on. Yeah, so you really need to pay attention to the products that are surrounding you, and then you go out and maybe you go into an office that has possibly been cleaned using traditional chemicals, so you're not in a very good atmosphere. In fact, your indoor air quality is way worse than your outdoor air quality, and that's saying a lot. So so you really have to be careful.
So if somebody were being cynical and asked you that, hey, you're giving me a lot of numbers, that's a lot of products that I'm using, there's a lot of chemicals in the air, what evidence would you have that can actually support all of your statements?
Loads of it. Have you got an hour? Well, we've done a lot of studies. So we work with collaborative partnerships with Enyo, who are here today. Oh, there they are there. And with DES. The Enyo, these are cloths that are used, and you only have to use cold water. So it's really high quality microfiber. And with the DES products, we're using then an Ecolite, and DES Ecolite, but the product is from HOCl, which is we produce that in our own body, and this is a brilliant product for cleaning all surfaces. Hypochloric acid, yeah, and we've done all the antibacterial testing, and they are greener than green. So, and then we have our own products we're using then is aqueous ozone, which is O3. So we actually did, are we allowed to talk about the testing that we did? Yeah. So we spent 4 days doing an independent air quality testing in the holiday homes here. And we got a studio apartment, we put in the air monitors, which we left for 48 hours to calibrate, so we get actually perfect readings. And then we went in and we did all 3 systems of cleaning. So we used the Enyo microfiber cloths, then we used the Catalyte, which is the cleaning product, and the aqueous ozone. And for all our 3 products ranges, we got very low volatile organic compounds. And as soon as we applied the off-the-shelf products, which was an all-purpose cleaner, a floor cleaner, and a window cleaner, the VOCs just went sky high, like skyrocketed. and remained so for hours. So at 6:30 in the evening, this was from 12:30 in the afternoon till 6:30 in the evening, it was just so high. And to kind of give you some idea, the Dubai municipality, they state that your product should be no more than 300 micrograms, concentrate micrograms per cubic meter, right? These were showing us rates of under 3,000, just under 3,000. Huge, yeah. So it's a huge difference. So I mean, we have all the facts and figures to show everybody, and as you know, as green cleaning companies and with our green products, we really have to push against all the big boys, because you know, when I go and showing and demoing our products, people always say to us, well, you know, do they work? And you're taking out your ATP readers and you're showing them that it does work. And I say to them, well, the last time you bought cleaning products from another traditional cleaning product company, did you ask them if those products actually work? And of course the answer is no. So, but we really, you know, we all know now about, you know, you can push the button on the internet and just find the questions that these chemicals are not good for you. So why would you use them?
When you started this company, I'm sure that you must have talked to people. There must have been a lot of customers who gave you a hard time. Do you see that there's a significant shift? Do you see that people are being more open towards sustainable products, towards clean cleaning? I guess that's the thing. How do you feel that the perspective has actually moved?
Yeah, I mean, so I'm 14 years living in the UAE, and I can see huge changes in people's perception in sustainability. I think also the millennials and Gen Z, they are pushing the boat out, because as consumers, they want to know what they're consuming. So there's no more secrets to hide from these big companies. Can we talk about those big companies? Without any names. You know, a lot of these companies, we don't want to believe that they're putting out products that could be actually endocrine disruptors, cause cancers, cause infertility. We don't want to believe that corporates would actually do that, but it is happening. It is a fact. And they are definitely now moving in the direction towards sustainability, because, as I said, the Gen Z and millennials are demanding to know what's in their products. I mean, one of the products, in fact, that we used during our testing, which is an off-the-shelf product, which I have subsequently seen on a mummy and baby website here for sale. Actually, when one of our brilliant engineers, Christopher, dissected the product, he found that half the ingredients weren't even on the label that were actually in the product. So yeah, so I mean, you know, these are just unacceptable, and you know, people are promoting it because of their smell. The smell is great. So, you know, and there's this thing about fragrance, right? It used to be a big thing that it would infringe on companies' patents and everything, but it's such a rubbish, because, you know, we have reverse engineering and we can find out the fragrances. So this is something that they're removing now, and they will disclose the word fragrance, because there could be anything up to 150 different chemicals in that one word. So you have to be really careful.
Well, thank you. You learn something new every day. And today has been a day of learning for me, honestly. I hadn't half the clues that you've just given me right now. So is this really why corporates producing these products are continuing to do so? Aren't there any laws, regulations in place that would actually stop them from doing so? And why aren't we as consumers getting the bigger picture?
Because we make the profits for the big corporates, right? So yeah, I mean, they are changing, but they're not exactly going to come out and say, oh, by the way, you know those products we've been selling you for the last 60 years? Well, they're actually really poisonous. Yeah. So they're not doing that now, but they're generally changing, because, as I said, the consumer is becoming much more aware and wants to know. And there are, of course, loads of regulations, but, you know, when you have organisations like the FDA, which are, you know, tied to Wall Street and big money, it's very, very difficult. I mean, there was in one certain, not to be named, antibacterial hand soap, they had triclosan and trichlorovan, which are both carcinogenic, and they were to be removed from those products, but the FDA gave them 6 years to do this. You know, and it's been removed now, but 6 years, it's too long. Take it out immediately. And so yes, there are regulations. I would say that the Europeans, not just because I'm European, are way better at enforcing these regulations, way better. So that the European Union, once they're given something like the big Roundup scare, with the spraying, they will remove that from the shelves and await the scientific evidence. The FDA will keep it on the shelves until they have the scientific evidence, and this could take up to 10 years in some cases. So, if you look at cases of puberty within young American girls, they were starting from 7 to 8 years of age to develop. And then a lot of this has been attributed to, antibiotics and different hormones given to the animals that are, so like there's a whole lot of things that you just have to start thinking about it. And why would you want to, give this to your children or even put it inside your own body? Because you want to stay healthy, right?
Right, that's true. It's all okay, no worries. So we've talked about companies and the responsibilities that, these companies are supposed to show and these products are supposed to take when it comes to their own branding. But as individuals, is there something that we can do on a personal level?
Yeah, I think so, of course, yeah. I mean, you need to, every little small choice that you make for yourself is healthy. Personally, I would open your cupboard underneath the sink and throw out all, traditional chemical cleaners, because you can clean in a home situation with lemon and vinegar. So you don't need all your expensive products. But I would definitely start looking. You've become more aware. The EWG, that's like an NGO. They have tested over 7,000 products. It's very easy for you to go on and find what you think is acceptable. And you'll be quite shocked to have a look at certain products that you think, oh my gosh, I'm using that on my baby's hair. So you just want to be careful. So I would throw out all of those. I would start to replace your personal care products as well. And move towards the organic way. I mean, we're trying to show inclusivity, so we're providing a lot of products as well that are decently priced, so that it's open to everybody. Because you don't want organic to become just inclusive for those who think they can afford it. So I think that's the small little things you can do for yourself. Just change. Just start changing slowly. Also, I always say that if you wouldn't spray it on your food, then why would you have it anywhere near you, right? Yeah, that's sort of my last thought on that.
Nice, lovely. Well, I know one thing for sure. When I go back home, I know exactly what I'm doing this weekend. Getting rid of all those toxic chemicals that are sitting right there in plain sight. I did have one last question for you, Adrian. When you're not attacking anything that's attacking the environment, what might we find you doing in your leisure time?
Absolutely none of your business.
Go on, Ben. Give us something.
I like to go out into the desert. I like to camp, and none of your business. And I like to read my books.
Just a little bit of a backstory right there. When I asked her this question a few minutes ago, she gave me an answer which I definitely cannot say with children around. That's a bit of the backstory. I'm sure that you've understood what goes on behind the scenes. Ladies and gentlemen, Adrian Doolan, such a pleasure. Big round of applause.